They are Broadway stars and their besties, Tony winner Matt Doyle and Bonnie Milligan. He's in Little Shop of Horrors. She's in Kimberly Akimbo. Let's check back in with Paul Wontorek.
So here we are,
Yes.
Matt and Bonnie, so good to see you both.
Hi.
And look, we're in Times Square. This is where you work, Broadway.
It's our favorite place to be. I do remember though when I was like 15 years old driving through here and calling my best friend in California and being like, I just drove by Aida. You know, like just freaking out.
Yes.
And now to be able to say that we actually are a part of this and that we work here is really overwhelming. I try to remind myself of that every time that, you know, like somebody throws you over into the street.
Oh, Lord.
You're right down on 45th Street, the Booth Theater, Kimberly Akimbo, the acclaimed.
right there.
So you're on 45th Street, and on that same block, you were in Company, won a Tony Award on that. That's a good block for you
It's
too.
a great block. It's a great
We love
block.
45th Street.
Love 45th Street.
And Matt, you're off Broadway, but you're
I'm
just
off Broadway,
you're
but
in the
very
Broadway
close.
district. You're in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, we
playing
consider
Seymour.
it Broadway light.
You two are actually really good friends, which is why we brought you together. I wanted to dig into that a little bit. But also, I wanted to, you know, there's like some holiday shopping in Times Square. So like, let's head up and sit down and chat a little bit. Cool.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, let's walk this way. Where did you guys first meet? What's the origin story?
We did a show called Jasper and Deadland together on the Upper West Side in a church.
In a church, yeah.
But also there was just one day, I think it was on the first day of rehearsals, where somebody was like, can anyone sing that? And Bonnie was like, I can. And then it was like, can you sing it a little higher? Why don't you actually option up here? And she just like wailed.
I could do that, sure.
Yeah.
You wanna, okay, great.
And I just sat on the side like.
But I know that when you're performers in the city, people come in and out of your life and you do shows, and sometimes it's just a one-day reading and sometimes it's a one-year run, and there's all sorts of relationships. But what do you think made you two gel? Because you're real friends.
We are real friends.
Yes, I think being real with one another. It's a difficult business. There's a lot of competition between people. There's a lot of creating a family and then losing a family, and that's a very strange part about this. You have to immediately be friends with your company and work with them and understand them. And there's just a few along the way that you really, really, really get attached to the point that carries through to your day-to-day life. And Bonnie and I think just immediately connected on a much deeper level that went beyond the room. In the jokes that we shared, in the not having to say anything to one another but a look across the room and understanding each other fully, and also in the support that we found in one another, and we knew how to lift each other up, and I think we still do that for each other. Like I know when Bonnie's going through something and I don't even need to like ask her.
Facts.
Yeah.
Even sometimes I'll send a text, be like, well, how are we doing? I know. And I'm like, whoa, how did you? Like, it's like really like, are you surveilling me? Like, it's like creepy.
I'm like, I'm
really,
behind you.
And I'm like, oh God. Okay, well, I'm awake now.
And I don't have a lot of friends. I am I'm not a social
Close to the chess
person.
guy,
I'm
yeah.
a very close to the chess person in terms of like my actual like deep personal life. And Bonnie, I was like, come in. I was like, let's
And then
be
I was like,
friends.
you're not releasing me, just so you know. He was like, great, I didn't want to. I'm like, good.
Well, I'm assuming, you know, especially the last few years, it's been tough.
Oh.
It's been tough to be an actor. So tell me how you lean on each other in those times.
I mean, especially during the pandemic, I was home with my mother in Ohio for 11 months. And my dad passed at the beginning of it, so I had been back and forth. When it looked Bad News Bears, I just stayed, and I said, I think I should just wait it out in case they shut down airports. And that turned into 11 months, and I texted him every day.
Every single day.
Every day.
Yeah, I mean, we had, I still find pandemic videos on my phone, and it's videos to Bonnie or videos that I've saved of hers that are really you just singing in your garage.
The garage, great acoustics.
Great acoustics.
Yeah.
You've got a White Claw in hand.
Oh
and-
yeah, for sure. For
Didn't we
sure.
all?
Didn't we all?
Oh man, and yeah, I think we survived on each other and survived on giving each other hope and lifting each other up. I mean, it was the most depressing and confusing time of all of our lives. And we had just watched so many things that meant the world to us, whether it be our job or our family, disappear and fall away from us. And I think Bonnie and I definitely leaned on each other a great deal throughout all of that.
Oh, yeah. And everything from like sharing a funny meme or something to like saying, I'm having a panic attack right now because my mother just said, you're alone, you have no one, which happened. And I was like, oh God, just like confronted with so much beyond like, you know, I put everything into my career and being like, well, now you have no one. So is that okay? And you're like, like having to go into the other room and be like, I'm actually having a panic attack right now.
And then,
He's had them and we both have had them that we don't have to deal with. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm having irrational thoughts, but like somebody else that just knows.
I called Bonnie on the first preview back. So Company was a fascinating return just because we all had a lot of trauma that we were going through, and it just revealed itself in different ways. And I do have a panic attack disorder, and there are two people that I call first, my mother and Max.
First he calls and I answer, I go, hey!
And I was like, I'm having a panic attack, I need your help. I called several other people, but
no one else would answer. And I was like, okay, okay, let's just breathe together. And I know his list is not long, so it really made me laugh enough to tell him later. I was like, I will say how you opened up is that no one else would pick up. And he was like, that was two people. I was like, I know, but how it came out was so funny.
Hey, being number 3 in someone's life is pretty good.
Like,
Just
that's
so
really
rude.
good, but just right off the bat.
No one else would pick up.
No one else would pick up. Okay, cool, well I did, so let's do this.
So tell me, what do you say to a fellow performing friend who's having a panic attack at the first preview of Company?
As someone who has gone through them, I just said, let's breathe together.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, you are here right now, because what happens is your brain just starts going on all these different scenarios, and it gets freaky that it's like, hey, right here, we're here right now, like, just breathe with me. And we just started breathing together.
I just sobbed uncontrollably.
And I'm like, it's okay, let's just do it again, deep. And that's kind of what we did for a while, was breathe until I could hear his breathing kind of come to a center. And I'm like, you're great, this is normal. So you know there's no judgment. And I'm like, this is 100% normal. You have been through a lot. It's okay.
And
so
I think
let's just breathe.
that's something that we also have always connected on. Bonnie and I don't judge each other.
No.
We're able to say everything to each other, and that is really important in a business that's all about rejection and your own insecurities and confusion about how you're presenting yourself and who you are and what people are going to think. And we're able to say all of the kind of the things that we keep inside and things that we don't want to admit, and we can connect on that. And I've never ever once felt a sense of judgment from Bonnie.
There's times I can also text and be like, I know this is irrational, but here's what I feel. I need to get it out of me. Because if I don't, then I'm gonna spiral. And so I'm like, but here's what I'm going through right now, and I'm finding that now, especially as I'm going into this season where it's just like, hey, I know this is a little crazy, but this is what I'm feeling. He's like, this is normal. I went through this too, so that we can like.
And I usually respond like 50% of this is irrational and false, and the other 50% might be true.
Yeah.
You know, and this is how I dealt with it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, because let's face it, you get presented a fantastic role in a fantastic show. We all just saw Matt win his Tony Award.
Yeah.
So thrilling. And you are playing Aunt Deborah in Kimberly AKIMBO, and you won the Lortel Award off Broadway. You've been nominated for other awards.
Yeah.
So suddenly there's a lot of attention, right? And suddenly there's extra pressure. You don't get COVID, don't miss this show, you never know who's gonna be in the house. So it is a lot to handle. I guess Matt could probably write a book about it.
You know, and I said to Bonnie as I watched this this moment kind of explode for her, especially when the show opened, and just she's so outrageously brilliant in it, and it's such a phenomenal role for her. I cannot really begin to describe how insane all of this gets, you know? And I was like, please just come to me with absolutely everything, because I didn't really have that. And I did have to be careful at my theater, and you don't want to walk into the theater asking people constantly, like, what do I do? You know?
How do you get a Tony?
Like, give me more advice, you know? So I'm grateful that I'm able to kind of bestow a little bit of the knowledge of that insanity onto what she's going through right now, and all the attention she's getting.
So what was it like watching Matt win
my gosh.
on that crazy night in June?
So emotional. I mean, like when they did the Tony nomination announcements, I was stuck in Mexico with COVID. Yeah. And I had like, it's the funniest. If you look at my Instagram, I did a post of excitement for him, and it ends with a video of me with the squeakiest velociraptor voice, being like, ah, into sobs.
Matt Doyle.
And FaceTimed him, and I could like barely speak because we have, oh, I might cry now. Like, we have been through so much together for so many years, and I've seen him work so hard. Yeah. And I've seen him like take jobs that didn't pay as much because it stretched him as an actor. And he just wanted so desperately to show everything that's within him, which is so much. And sometimes people are like, you're so pretty, which he is. Oh, but like, but you are, you know what I mean? Like, some people put us in boxes, and like, you're so much more than that. And I think maybe that's where we've connected too. People want to put us in a certain place, and like, we're like, no, 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 let me show you more. And so I've seen him take risks in his career, stretch himself. We've been through the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. I couldn't be more proud. And also like everything, like, it's like, oh, thank God that like there's good in the world. Like, we are awarding like this human, like, that should be awarded.
And I know you've been waiting for Bonnie to have a moment like
Bonnie's
she's having right now.
The hardest worker I've ever met in my entire life. I know that we connect on that because we both are here because we love it more than anything. Yeah. And get very frustrated with other people that are in the industry that maybe are here for the wrong reasons and don't have the same just like insane love and passion that we feel for the craft, and
you connected on that.
Yeah,
too.
we connect on that. But also, I've watched Bonnie overcome so many different hurdles that a lot of other women in this industry don't necessarily have to overcome. Bonnie is just one of the most gorgeous people I've ever met in my life, but isn't necessarily a type that is going to fit into the, you know, the ingenue, and has had to go up against so many prejudices from not just the community, but also from the journalistic side of the community, and just has bravely faced all of it and proven that it is not your size or what your type is, that it ultimately is your heart and your talent. And that's what she's doing right now with Aunt Deborah, and that's so exciting. And I watch her just break down barriers, watching her sing Beautiful, a song about being absolutely gorgeous and a princess on stage during Head Over Heels was thrilling. And now just to see her owning the stage right now, and the entire community recognizing her worth and her power is there's nothing like it.
You both live extremely openly about yourselves, and you both are just very like, this is who I am, this is what I have to offer, and so I think you probably connect on that level too. I mean,
yeah. We're blunt.
Yeah.
We're blunt people. Yeah. And I cannot believe you just made me cry so
Sorry.
Matt, you're playing Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors.
I am.
Which I know is a dream
it.
role. And
Yes.
I know you love doing it with Lena Hall, but I'm pretty sure you would also.
Oh gosh.
I feel like you have a dream,
discussed it.
We have
Audrey.
discussed it for years. We've been
Yeah.
talking about it.
Suddenly Seymour standing beside me.
We're still looking to
Yeah,
make that happen.
we need to make it happen.
But like, please, like, no, not anytime
No,
soon.
I'm not. I don't want to close my show.
She's busy.
Let's put
She's
that in the
busy.
world. She's busy.
She's busy. She's booked and
Keep her
blessed.
busy.
Yeah.